a couple of PZ Myers classics to bring you today from over the last couple of days. The second one perhaps a little bit more important. The first one's just a head scratcher, okay? So the first one's got me scratching my head. It's a chance for you to scratch your head in case your head needs scratching. But I'm starting to think that perhaps Myers has totally lost the plot. And I have to make this clear. I am not saying that in a medical capacity. I am not a medical professional of any shape or form. The first one then, there has been this bone of contention. Michael Nugent brought it up, saying that all these atheist bloggers are making out that these problems within atheist movements are kind of worldwide, global. And he's saying that's not what I've seen. It seems to be mainly atheist movements within the good old US of A, not atheist movements in Europe and in Africa and in the rest of the world. So PZ Myers has fired back with his gotcha to show that Michael Nugent is wrong, and in actual fact these issues affect atheist movements all around the world. And his blog post was entitled That Purely American Problem. And you know what his evidence is? See if you can work this one out. It's that some students at the University of Nottingham in England, not necessarily atheist students, not students in an atheist society at the University of Nottingham, but just some students at the University of Nottingham were singing a sexist song. How that disproves Michael Nugent's point, how it's even related to Michael Nugent's point, I haven't the first idea. Maybe you could enlighten me. If you can understand, I'll obviously link to it. Maybe you could fucking enlighten me on that one, because that one just had me scratching my fucking head. But what it does show is that PZ Myers is a master of the misrepresentation. But one thing PZ Myers doesn't like is being misrepresented. So then when a guy called Matt Cavanaugh made a piece, which again that I'll link, having a bit of a pop at PZ and accusing him of a number of things, PZ Myers wasn't very happy about it. Why? Because Matt Cavanaugh had misrepresented PZ Myers. Oh, how terrible it is when the shoe is on the other foot. Let me make a few comments here. The first comment is this, is that I don't actually like the piece that Matt Cavanaugh wrote, because he makes conclusions that just simply aren't true, that aren't justified. He makes a comment that PZ seems to have this fascination with little girls, and then he makes a point about PZ Myers, for example, just giving this as an example, about PZ Myers having a fascination with pubic hair. But the fascination with pubic hair that he links to is actually PZ Myers saying that he prefers women. Why can't they just keep their pubes? Why would they be removing their pubes? Well, that doesn't seem to fit in with the first thing at all. It's a kind of it's playing shit sort of journalistic tricks, I think, there, of the kind that we see the likes of PZ Myers do. But that doesn't make it any more reasonable when Matt Cavanaugh does it. But the thing is, the interesting thing, 2 points I want to make with regard to this and with regard to the blog that PZ had done. One of them important because it involves doxing and contacting employers. But just before I get onto that serious stuff, you know, if the best that PZ Myers can do is to pick apart somebody who's just a commenter on a very, very marginalised forum on the net, the slime pit, if that is the best that he can do, that's kind of a little bit pathetic, you know, that's the kind of person he's having to pick on. How would we feel if Richard Dawkins, if instead of having a go at PZ Myers, just picked one of the rabid lunatics that frequently posts on PZ Myers's Pharyngular blog, and fucking hell, there's enough of them to go at, and said, look at what this person has said about me. You know, that you'd think, well, that's really pathetic, Richard Dawkins. Surely you can pick a slightly bigger name target to go at than that. But that's all that PZ Myers is going at here, is just one anonymous person who is posting on an internet forum, leaving comments somewhere. That's kind of really pathetic, really kind of tragic, I think, there. Whereas I'm having a go at PZ Myers here, who is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest representative of their side. Can you not see the difference there between having a go at the big banner headline representatives and having a go at one of the hundreds and thousands of people that are leaving comments along the way? But one of the things that PZ Myers does on this, and I'll link up what he's had a go at, one of the links that Matt Cavanaugh had put to was somebody who posts under the name of Skep Tickle, who had made some comments with regard, some slightly, I don't know how serious they were, but they didn't look like a serious fucking medical analysis. It was a bit scurrilous, a bit nudge nudge wink wink along the lines of PZ Myers, or could he have got a sexually transmitted disease from this conference given that he's just been into a hospital for this or that, and then posted a few links to, I think it was medicine.net or medicinenet.com or something like that. And as a result of that, what PZ Myers has done, PZ Myers has exposed this person's real name, has exposed what this person's employer is, has exposed what this person's profession is, because they have got a medical qualification, they are a medical professional. And as a result of that, Skepchick, who are very much in bed with Free Thought Blogs, of course, has got on board with this and has tweeted about it and included the Twitter username of this individual's employers, presumably in a bid to try and get them in trouble. Now, they are doing this on the grounds that it's unprofessional, it's against medical ethics to make sort of scurrilous online diagnoses, especially if it involves something like a sexually transmitted disease. That's on the one hand. On the other hand is the claim that they're always making, that they don't like dropping people's docs, that they don't think you should be contacting people's employers, that these are all shit tricks to pull. Also, on the other hand, is the fact that this person, Skep Tickle, posts as an anonymous blogger, doesn't post as a medical professional, doesn't state that they're a medical professional, didn't include anything related to them being a medical professional in the forum, which is again posted on some backwater internet forum, whereas a lot of trash talking and a lot of bullshit and a lot of joking takes place. Hasn't included any details about what they do for a living, hasn't included that and said, as a medical professional, this is what I think, hasn't linked to any documents or any data that would only be available to them as a medical professional, has simply said, look at these things that I've got on Wikipedia here that tell you about what PZ Myers has gone in for, and one of the things linked is gonorrhea. He'd previously, only a few days ago, been at a conference, Skepchick conference, I think it was. Oh, I wonder if the two things could be linked. Is that really, this is what I'm asking you, is that really a case of unprofessional medical or unprofessional conduct? Is that a breach of medical ethics to do that kind of thing in an anonymous capacity when you're not doing it in a professional capacity, when you haven't even made it known what your profession is? This is what I think. What I think is that the people at Free Thought Blogs and Skepchick say one thing and mean another. They preach this ethos that you don't drop people's docs, that you don't dob them into their employer if they say something you don't like, even if it's something that's untrue. You don't play those games. But it seems to me that actually they don't really mean that. What they mean is, yeah, we don't want anybody to do it to us, but if we can find any justification, however irrelevant, that allows us to do it to anybody else, you can fucking bet that we're going to do it. And that is what they have done here, because regardless of whether technically somebody who is a medical professional should be making even joking medical remarks about other people on the net, the fact is that professional status had absolutely no bearing whatsoever on this comment, because it wasn't done in a professional capacity. The professional capacity wasn't stated, the professional capacity wasn't known, and no specific professional information was used other than the same information that I could get via Wikipedia. It was magnificently irrelevant. So it seems to me, at least, that the only possible reason why they would be doing this was simply as some kind of fucking excuse. They're simply using this person's professional capacity as an excuse to try and get them into trouble. And hey, who knows, maybe they'll really achieve success and make this person lose their job. Okay, well, I say this in a non-medical capacity. You've got to be a right bunch of cunts to pull off a stunt like that. That's pretty much all that I wanted to say there. Anybody got any comments on that, especially about the issue with the capacity and the ethics of doing things like that? I'll put all the links down there. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.